No more than one more.
Heavy surf, high tides, and rip currents have done some damage to the Southern California coast, with potentially dangerous conditions expected to last at least until Thursday. The conditions already have had devastating consequences. Just last week in Laguna Beach, a 5-year-old girl drowned after she was swept into the ocean by powerful surf. Authorities said they were able to rescue her mother and brother, who were caught in the same swell.
Just last week during the SoCal swell, there was a little girl that unfortunately lost her life from being swept off into the ocean by the waves. And you can see this little kid is just a little bit too close to the edge and in the waves for my comfort personally.
In the city of Santa Cruz, the tide took 2 women to sea, leaving one dead and another in critical condition. Meanwhile, in San Francisco, seawater poured into the Embarcadero on Saturday night. The city saw its highest summer water level on record, according to the San Francisco Bay Area office of the National Weather Service. The treacherous conditions were expected to last into this week, with the continuing king tides, a non-scientific term describing the highest tides of the year.
Update at 11:10 p.m. Pretty high, maybe not quite as high as what we saw last night, but still pretty high. The water's sloshing over the railing and onto the sidewalk a little bit.
Forecasts indicated Southern California beaches would see dangerous rip currents and breaking waves and high tides through at least late Wednesday. There is an elevated drowning risk as the conditions could pull people into the water, wash people off beaches and rocks, and capsize small boats, according to the National Weather Service.
It's super high right now, huh?
The teeth knocked out by a rock.
Remain out of the water due to hazardous swimming conditions or stay near occupied lifeguard towers. Rock jetties can be deadly in such conditions. Stay off the rocks, the Los Angeles office of the NWS said in a Sunday evening message. Minor flooding would also be possible, the office said. NWS officials in San Francisco warned of an increased risk of flooding of roads, lots, and parks, as well as sneaker waves, large breaking waves and strong rip currents through Thursday morning.
Oh my God. Am I gonna get stuck right here? Shit.
The office also advised residents to stay out of the water and warned travel may take longer.
Holy shit, the fucking ocean is crazy today. Oh, damn. Here it comes again. Here it comes again.
During last week's intense conditions, surfers rode massive waves at the Wedge in Newport Beach, which saw swells as high as 20 feet. But the conditions have been challenging for surfers too, with several reporting highly dangerous and even near-death experiences in the water. In Crystal Cove State Park, tides over 7 feet and heavy surf damaged part of a historic cabin and nearly flooded another. a lifeguard tower was nearly pulled into the water. At the peak of it, just the biggest waves I've ever seen here, in my experience as a lifeguard, said Jake Beckley, who's been a Crystal Cove lifeguard for 6 years.
No way, dude, you guys! We told everybody that it was going to be in the parking lot. I told them so.
We've lost pretty much the entire beach at certain points. The tide reached as high as the Beachcomber restaurant at one point and pulled chunks of a historic seawall from beneath a cabin nearby.
Oh my gosh. Oh! That was nuts. That was a good one.
What are you laughing at, brother?
SoCal surfers weren't the only ones taking a beating during the recent run of historic swell. As powerful surf marched into the coast, beaches from Newport Beach to Laguna Beach experienced dramatic erosion, exposing infrastructure, swallowing equipment, and reshaping stretches of shoreline in a matter of days. At the Wedge, one of Southern California's most famous big wave spectacles, the damage was impossible to miss. Massive rocks tumbled from sections of the jetty as relentless waves pounded the structure. Elsewhere, long-buried metal pipes emerged from beneath the sand, a visible reminder of just how much beach disappeared during the swell.
There's a pipe.
The erosion wasn't limited to Newport. Just a few miles south at Crystal Cove State Park, powerful waves chewed away at the shoreline, undermining lifeguard towers and sending at least one tumbling into the ocean. A bobcat tractor parked near the beach also fell victim to the encroaching surf, after rising water and collapsing sand left the machine stranded and eventually swallowed by the sea.
Everybody in San Francisco, be careful, because we finna have a tsunami in this bitch. Oh, shit.
For beachgoers, the destruction offered a rare glimpse beneath Southern California's carefully manicured coastline. What is normally hidden beneath layers of sand suddenly became exposed as wave after wave stripped beaches to their foundations. And the story may not be over. Forecasters are now watching a series of king tides expected to arrive in the coming days. While king tides are a naturally occurring phenomenon caused by the alignment of the sun, moon, and earth, they can dramatically elevate water levels during high tide events. When combined with lingering swell energy, the result can accelerate coastal erosion and increase flooding in vulnerable areas.
And it's just the chaos at Newport today. The waves have gone crazy.
For surfers, the recent swell delivered memorable sessions and some of the largest surf Southern California has seen in years. But once the crowds leave and the waves subside, the scars left behind tell a different story. The ocean giveth, and sometimes it takes the beach with it. Sandra and Rigo Garcia of San Dimas have been visiting Crystal Cove to stay in those historic cabins since the late 1990s. They've seen the beach change over the decades. In Orange County, the National Weather Service warns that dangerous surf conditions, including rip currents, are expected to continue through Friday evening. This creates dangerous conditions for swimming. Anyone caught in a rip current is advised to swim parallel to the shore to clear it. And as the NWS says, always swim near a lifeguard. In LA County, conditions are expected to continue through Wednesday night, including coastal flooding, high tides, and rip currents.